Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS news for Wednesday, February 12. Government has signaled its priority focus on education, national security, and health, assigning them the lion's share of the national budget for the 2020-2021 financial year outside of the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. That ministry again commanded the largest slice of the new fiscal year's $852.67 billion budget. The estimates of expenditure was tabled in the House of Representatives yesterday by Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark. Of the $411.5 billion going to the ministry he helms, $287.8 billion is for public debt servicing. The Education Ministry, which has been budgeted a total $118.5 billion, has seen its recurrent expenditure increased by over $5 billion and a slight increase of $23 million on its capital spend. Meanwhile, the government is proposing to spend $93.5 billion on national security and $77.9 billion on health and wellness in the new fiscal year, which begins on April 1. Key expenditures for the Security Ministry will include the acquisition of vehicles for the Jamaica Defense Force, Jamaica Constabulary Force, and the Department of Correctional Services. Money is also set aside to complete Phase 2 of the JDF's Burke Barracks and construct a training center at Montego and a military dog facility. Software and hardware will be purchased and training conducted to build out the JCF and JDF's cybersecurity capability, and cameras will be installed to continue upgrades to Jamaica's CCTV network. The renovation of police stations will also continue. Meanwhile, under health, money is set aside to begin work on the Western Children Adolescent Hospital and bring it to 60% completion. $1.78 billion is earmarked to complete Phase 2 of the redevelopment of the Cornwall Regional Hospital and bring Phase 3 to 30% completion. In other news, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton is encouraging Jamaicans to have faith in the island's public health system and the workers in the sector. Minister Tufton made the call Tuesday during a town hall meeting in Vineyard Town. The meeting was called to assuage fears following the government's announcement that the St. Joseph Hospital in the community would be used to quarantine and treat persons suspected of contracting the novel coronavirus, which has now been officially named COVID-19 by the World Health Organization. Dr. Tufton told the audience that the island's public health system had a track record of preventing the entry and spread of communicable diseases on the island.
As a country, we have gone far in terms of life expectancy. When you have your children, they grow up doing well, and despite the challenges we have in public health, I would trust my life in the hands of a Jamaican public health official, a doctor and a nurse, any day over anybody else, because they are good at what they do.
In the meantime, local laboratory staff will be trained to test for COVID-19, previously known as the novel coronavirus. The staff will be trained by a team from the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, who are now on the island.
By the following week, we expect that we will have the capacity to test. Now, this is very fortunate for us because it's not every country is going to have that capacity.
Testing for COVID-19 is currently being done at the U.S. Center for Disease Control and the Caribbean Public Health Agency. The turnaround time for results is 48 hours from the time samples reach the receiving lab and 24 hours in cases where all initial screenings are negative. Government has announced plans to construct a fire station to serve the hilly communities of southern Trelawney. The process to build the new station will commence in a few months. The announcement was made recently by local government minister Desmond McKenzie. He said land had been identified for the construction of the new fire station, which would bring the number of facilities in the parish to 2.
We know that this part of Trelawney is challenging. And in 2016, I indicated our intention to build new fire stations in certain sections of the country. If any fire occur in this area, it's either Christiana or Falmouth, which is a good distance away.
Minister McKenzie was speaking at the recent handover of a home for an indigent resident of Stettin, South Trelawney. The new station will serve Ulster Spring, Albertown, Waitabit, Warsop, Troy, Stettin, and other areas. And finally, the deadline for students to enter the Inter-School Visual and Performing Arts Competition for Jamaica Day 2020 has been extended to tomorrow, February 13. The Ministries of Education, Youth and Information and Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport are partnering with Fontana Pharmacy to host the competition. All primary and secondary schools are being invited to create and record an artistic piece of maximum 3 minutes highlighting their chosen icon. The piece should include music, dance, drama, and visual arts. Schools should send the video to the following email address, celebratingjamaica2020@gmail.com via WeTransfer or Google Docs. Jamaica Day 2020 will be hosted at the Denby High School in Clarendon on February 21 under the theme Celebrating Jamaica, highlighting our icons in the arts, agriculture, and technological innovations. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.